Hello, friends. This is Raj here, and welcome to Share Trek India. And today's topic is going to be about Canada, because many Indians do come to Canada either as tourists or as immigrants. And this year, Canada is going to take around 450,000 new immigrants. You have heard the number right; it's a huge number. So there's a good chance that someone you know or you yourself might be planning to migrate to Canada. And I hope you find this video a bit interesting. The first half of this video is going to be all the general things which I call as foundational information about Canada. But the most interesting part is the second half, where I talk to you about the current situation and specific things that you need to know and understand before you make that journey across to Canada. So with that said, let's get started. Welcome back, friends. Canada is one of the most attractive destinations in the world for people looking to settle in a new country. And I might be a bit biased because I'm a Canadian. I'm of Indian origin and I came to Canada around 25 years ago. I love this country. It's given me a very good standard of living, good quality of life. And I love the seasons that we have, the different seasons that we have. So it's really good to be here in Canada. And I'm really happy to make this video so that I could give you my personal point of view about Canada, so that when you come here, you are much better informed. There are many reasons why Canada is a great place to live, including its strong economy, high standard of living, diverse culture, and welcoming people. Additionally, Canada has a well-developed healthcare system, excellent public education, and a low crime rate, which makes it an ideal place to raise a family. Of course, when we talk about crime rates, right, it depends on us not being at the wrong place at the wrong time. Every country has got those places, and Canada does have a few spots here and there which is not ideal, but overall, in general, Canada is a very good place, and the crime rate is pretty much under control. One of the most significant advantages of living in Canada is the strong economy. Canada is a highly diversified economy, and it is well suited to a wide range of industries, including healthcare, finance, technology, natural resources, and more. The country has a stable political environment, it's a sound democracy, it has got a sound financial system and a highly educated workforce thanks to the many universities and colleges across the country. And this has attracted many multinational corporations to establish their headquarters or subsidiaries in Canada. Canada's high standard of living is another significant factor that makes it a great place for people to settle. The country has a well-developed social welfare system that provides citizens with access to high-quality healthcare, education, and other essential services. Additionally, Canada is known for its beautiful natural landscapes, including vast forests, green belts, lakes, and mountains, which provide ample opportunity for outdoor recreation. A typical Canadian is an outdoor person. During summer, they do outdoor camping, and during winter, they go for cross-country skiing, and many go to the extreme sports of winter camping by creating dugouts and tents, hot tents, and so on. It's a very, very interesting place with a lot of interesting outdoor opportunities. And in terms of suitable locations for specific professionals, which is what I think most of you would be looking for in terms of information about Canada. Canada has several cities that are known for their industry specializations. For example, Toronto is home to many financial institutions. In fact, the headquarters of most of the Toronto banks and financial institutions are in Toronto for Canada. There is a street in Toronto called as Bay Street, and that's where many of them are headquartered. It's the equivalent of Wall Street for Toronto, including the stock exchange. Toronto Montreal Stock Exchange is also on Bay Street. So that's the capital for Toronto when it comes to financial institutions and tech startups. While Vancouver is known for booming film industry because of its beautiful nature, you do find a lot of movie shooting happening in Toronto as well during summertime. And Montreal has a strong fashion and creative arts scene, while Calgary and Edmonton are hubs for oil and gas industry. And also, you have the Banff and other beautiful places to see in that part of the world. And in terms of healthcare, some of the best places to live in Canada include Vancouver, Toronto, and Ottawa, which are known for their excellent medical facilities and highly trained healthcare professionals. For those interested in pursuing a career in education, cities like Toronto, Vancouver, and Montreal offer a wide range of opportunities, including positions at prestigious universities and research institutions. Canada's natural resources sectors provide many employment opportunities in cities like Calgary, Edmonton, and Fort McMurray. The technology industry is thriving in Toronto, Montreal, Vancouver, and Waterloo, which is home to several technology companies and research institutions. In conclusion, I would say that Canada is an excellent place to settle for many reasons, including its strong economy, high standard of living, diverse culture, welcoming people, and beautiful landscape. Additionally, there are many cities across Canada that are well suited to specific professions, making it easy for newcomers to find work and establish themselves in their chosen fields. However, I would like to provide you with some insights into what life would be like realistically when you immigrate to Canada. And this is based on my personal experience of coming to Canada and settling down. Of course, the situations were very different 25 years ago when I came to Canada and settled down, and they are very different right now. Prospective immigrants should remember that currently the global economy is going through a tough phase, and right now in Toronto and Vancouver, for example, the rents are very high, and it's difficult to find a suitable rental accommodation without damaging your bank account. So if you are an immigrant with a budget and who wants to come and settle down here, you should be mentally prepared that you're going to be stressed out with your budget, because the rent is going to take a bigger chunk of your budget. And that might cause you a lot of anxiety, but that's an unavoidable problem. This is because high interest rates are preventing people who are currently living in rental accommodation and who have jobs, who were planning to buy a home. They are not able to buy a home because their mortgage interest rate is so high that they cannot afford, and therefore they are preferring to stay in the same place, because if they move, the rents will go up. So they stay renting in the same place, as a result of which the rental stock is diminished, and most investors who like to buy property and give it out on rent are finding it very unattractive to borrow at such high rates, because people are not able to pay the kind of rent that is needed to pay back the mortgage and make some profits on top. As a result, what we have here in Toronto is that accommodation is very, very difficult to come by, and especially for new immigrants who are coming into the country, you are going to be competing with local tenants who already have a track record with previous landlords and who have a credit record and who have a job. Landlords prefer to give them preference to brand new immigrants who come in without a job, without credit record, and without any previous landlord reference. And that's where personal networking helps. I do help a lot of immigrants who come into Canada, especially from India, to find a place and to settle down. So if you are one of those, please put me a line. I have my email in the description as well as the channel banner, so you can reach out to me. And then further, I would say that we are expecting around 450,000 immigrants in Canada in 2023, which is a big number. And most of those immigrants are going to be competing with each other for rental accommodation. Now the thing is, you might say, okay Raj, I would like to go to a place which where the rents are cheap. So that will not be in Toronto or Vancouver. You might end up outside somewhere in some other province in a smaller city. That is absolutely possible, but then along with that, you have lesser chances of getting a job, and the job that you get will be paying way less than what you would be paid in Toronto and Vancouver. So you have to keep those things in mind. Secondly, remember, Toronto and Vancouver are some of the most expensive cities in the world. Of course, you could settle in a less expensive place like Saskatchewan, for example, but your career opportunities and salaries will also vary accordingly, as I said. Most new immigrants will have to reconcile with the fact that regardless of their position in their home country, it will be challenging to get the same career level start in Canada for most. Some people are lucky and maybe they are vice president of a company in their home country and they come here and join at the same level in a Canadian company. Those are rare, but many new immigrants have to start from scratch, or at least less than where they were in their home countries. Also, the flood of immigrants keen to start their career means intense competition in the job market, resulting in softer wages and more competition for the same job. So there will be lesser jobs and more competition. And some professionals, such as doctors and chartered accountants, may be required to requalify either entirely or through bridging programs, so that their international qualifications can be evaluated for equivalence to Canadian credentials. And in case of chartered accountants, for example, there is some kind of understanding between the Chartered Accountants Institute of India and the CPA of Canada. As a result, you have to do a few extra modules, and once you pass those, then you're able to become a CA. That's my understanding. And for medicine, I think it's you have to requalify. So please do your own research on these specific careers. Even for electrical engineers, you need to requalify because the standards are different out here. So that's a big factor to keep in mind. And most of the immigrants will have to get their qualification regraded for equivalence to Canadian credentials. And there are organizations that do that for a fee. And when you apply for immigration, that will be one of the requirements that the government would stipulate. And another point I would like to make for you is that though healthcare is free, it is difficult to get a family doctor, and hence most newcomers are dependent on walk-in clinics. Also, the free healthcare does not cover the cost of medicines, dental and eye-related services. So please keep that in mind. And also, if you're a visitor out here, you're not going to get the free healthcare. You'll have to come with your health insurance. And for new immigrants, also the first 3 months, you need to have your private health insurance when you come here. Your Ontario health insurance plan or anything else will click in after your SIN card is processed. It usually takes around 3 months for your health card to be processed, and then you get into the system. And finally, I would like to give you some very, very peculiar thing about Canada. I don't know how it is in your home country, but at least in India, you have a MSRP, that is maximum retail price, and the printed price is what you pay when you buy something. Whereas in Canada, you have to remember that if you see that the price of an article is $1, be prepared to pay $1.13, because 13 cents of harmonized sales tax is not included in the printed price. It always comes in the bill. So there's a surprise of 13% whenever you buy anything in Canada. Once you have settled here, it becomes second nature for you. So whenever you see the price of any item, mentally you start calculating 13%, and it's not a surprise. But when you're a new immigrant, and when you're on a limited budget, and when you're paying a lot of money for your rent, and you're looking for a job, that 13% is going to mean a lot. So that's something I thought, some interesting information that I thought I should equip you with. I have got so many things to talk to you about to prepare you for your journey into Canada and a Canadian life. But I have limited time on this video, so I'll come up with another video sooner or later, maybe in a couple of weeks. So stay tuned for that. And if you want to see these kind of videos, put that in the comment, and I'll come up with more information. Put your questions about Canada. I'll answer them for you. And please do not forget to subscribe and press the notify button so that whenever I do another video on Canada, you will be able to have a look at it immediately. Thanks and have a great day. Bye for now.